Rayan was a man of small stature but with a spirit that soared higher than mountains. Being a single father to his young daughter, Aisha, never stopped him from seeking adventure. In fact, he often said that the world was too big to stay in one place. His life was a balance between caring for Aisha and satisfying the restless itch in his heart to explore. Every time he returned from a trip, he would bring her seashells, carved stones, or strange fruits, telling her stories of jungles, deserts, and oceans. She would listen with wide eyes, hanging on to every word. One early summer morning, after making sure Aisha was safe with his older sister for a few weeks, Rayan decided it was time for another journey. The call of the wild was too strong to ignore. He packed a small bag, just enough clothes, food for a day, and his old compass that had never left his side. His first stop was a dense jungle he had always wanted to see, a place known for its towering trees and mysterious wildlife. The jungle welcomed him with the sound of birds and the thick scent of damp earth. Sunlight struggled to pierce through the canopy, painting golden streaks across the forest floor. Rayan walked for hours, breathing in the peace, sketching small plants in his notebook, and even climbing a hill to watch a family of monkeys swing between branches. The deeper he went, the more alive he felt. After 2 days of trekking, he reached the edge of the jungle where it met the sea. The horizon stretched endlessly, the waves glittering under the sun. He decided his next adventure would be across that water. At a small fishing village nearby, he rented a modest wooden boat from an old sailor. The man warned him about sudden storms, but Rayan, confident in his luck and skill, assured him he would be careful. The first few hours were bliss. The sea was calm, the breeze gentle, and the boat swayed like a cradle. Rayan leaned back, listening to the water's whispers, thinking about the stories he would tell Aisha when he returned. But in the distance, a dark shadow began to swell across the sky. The wind picked up, tugging at his hair and jacket. Within minutes, the sea turned into a furious beast. Waves rose like walls, crashing against the boat with a deafening roar. Rayan fought to keep control, gripping the tiller with aching hands. Rain lashed at his face, blinding him, while the wind howled in his ears. A monstrous wave lifted the boat high, then slammed it down. The wood groaned under the pressure. His heart pounded, not just from fear, but from the thought of Aisha waiting for him. Another wave came, larger than the rest, and before he could react, it struck. The world spun, cold salt water filled his lungs, and darkness swallowed him whole. When he awoke, it was to the sound of gulls and the warmth of the sun on his face. He was lying on a stretch of sand, his clothes torn, his body bruised. His boat was gone. All around him was ocean on one side and dense green on the other. He had washed ashore on an uninhabited island. Back home, days turned into weeks without news of him. His sister reported him missing, but no search found a trace. Months passed. Aisha stopped asking when he would come home, but she never stopped looking out the window at night, imagining his return. Years piled up, 15 of them. On the islands, survival became Rayan's only focus. The first days were the hardest, finding fresh water, learning which fruits were safe, fishing with sharpened sticks. Nights were long, filled with the sound of waves and the loneliness of the stars. He marked the days on a flat stone, watching the lines grow into years. His beard turned gray, his body hardened from constant labor. He built a shelter from palm leaves and driftwood, learned to trap crabs, and even carved a small canoe from a fallen tree. But the ocean was wide and unforgiving. Each time he thought of leaving, memories of the storm held him back. So he stayed, waiting for a chance that seemed like it would never come. Despite the hardships, he kept hope alive by talking to Aisha in his mind, telling her how much he missed her, promising he would return. Sometimes he would find smooth shells and imagine giving them to her just as he used to. His love for her was the fire that never went out. One morning, after 15 years, that fire was rewarded. While walking along the shore, he spotted a distant shape on the water, a fishing boat. His heart slammed against his ribs. He tore off his shirt, waving it wildly, shouting until his throat burned. For a moment, the boat kept moving and despair clawed at him, but then it slowed, turned, and headed his way. The fishermen were stunned to find him. a small, weathered man with eyes that spoke of years alone. They gave him water, food, and wrapped him in blankets. As the boat carried him away from the island, Rayan watched the place that had been his prison and his teacher disappear into the horizon. When he finally stepped onto the docks of his homeland, the world felt different. Cities had changed, faces had aged, but his heart was fixed on one thing. He asked about his daughter and learned that Aisha was now a grown woman, living not far from the old family home. The walk to her house felt longer than all the miles he had traveled in his life. His hands trembled as he knocked on the door. A young woman opened it, her eyes widening as she took in the sight of the stranger before her. And then recognition hit. Her breath caught and tears spilled down her cheeks. "Papa?" she whispered. Rayan's voice broke as he nodded. "It's me, Aisha. I kept my promise." She threw her arms around him, holding on as if she would never let go again. Neighbors gathered, watching the reunion, but the world faded for them both. 15 years of longing, fear, and hope melted into that single embrace. Rayan held her tight, feeling the years slip away. In that moment, he knew the journey had been worth every trial. The storms, the solitude, the endless waiting, all of it had led him back to where he belonged. And for the first time in 15 years, he was truly home.